It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. It's the show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks fans, what's going on? What's good? Knicks Real Talk Tonight show. We in here. Divine BX Jedi 7-6. We in the building tonight, man. 8:30 on the East Coast, man. We in here tonight, man. Cutting up some Knick content tonight. We ready to get into it. Hopefully everybody checking in on the chime in, man. And we ready to talk some Knicks tonight. You know, after that crazy game last night, man, the Knicks going to Minnesota and get attacked by a pack of wolves last night. We're going to get into that later on tonight, man. But salute to everybody out there. Frank, what up, my brother, in the chat already in the building. I see you, Frank. Matt Toes, always good to see you. And for you chiming in. Like I said, man, we're going to get into it, man. A little down, Debbie Downer, man. Knicks went into Minnesota and allowed them boys to come back and win the game on us, man. And it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. It's association. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Let me bring in my co-host, the one and only BX Jedi 76 BX. What's good, my brother?
Good evening, Divine. Good evening, Frank Matos. Good evening, everyone out there. Good evening, Jonathan, Guzman, Joshua, Lisandro Guzman. I just wanted to give you a shout out. And hey, good evening. Welcome aboard to the show. Knicks Real Talk with my co-host Divine here, and we're gonna what can I say? This game, that's why they're professionals. They're all pros. They're all talented. We just got too careless at the end. I think we needed that humble pie. We got a little bit too full of ourselves, I think, because you build a 18-point lead one time on the game and then another 13-point lead, and you have a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you let this team just come back at you. They got punched in the mouth, and they didn't respond. We'll break more into that. And this is a game that I hope they just turn the page, learn from this, and be humbled. I mean, this is why, folks, that everyone was, like I said, the minute police were out there and they wanted to give a bunch of summons and arrest Thibodeau for the minutes. This is the reason why. You see why the coach knows what he's doing. He played his players, and you say playing too much, but in a big lead, this is the reason why. That's why he doesn't have confidence yet in his bench to hold the lead, a sustainable lead in the NBA. This is the NBA. If the worst team in the NBA, according to record-wise, came back and against a formidable defense this year. So that's why he keeps his starters on. Those are the examples. In a way, I do not like losing, but in a way, putting a silver lining so the fans could relax and see why the coaches, and he doesn't have to give us any explanation, the coach, or any reasoning. But I'm just saying you look at it and say, this is why he plays those guys out all those minutes when on the lead is he don't trust it, and this is example. And we just got to let the coach and trust his process. I hope they just turn the page. They take that ball and bury it and get back at it and grinding it in practice and get back to their fundamentals. Get that intensity up. Make it a 48-minute game, not just not take any minute for granted and off. No plays off. Go at it full 100%, and we learn from that, Divine. That game, it's a lot of we could be negative, but let's take the positive that they're going to learn from this and move forward. And as us as fans, we got to trust the coach. That's the way I see that.
Yeah. I agree, man. I've been hearing a lot of, on all the platforms, the streams, the blogs, the sub blogs, and you know what? 18 turnovers, brother. You could talk about Tom Thibodeau. People could talk about Tom Thibodeau. They could talk about Alfred Payton. They could talk about Coach White Woodson. They could talk about 18 turnovers. You know what I mean? 18 turnovers that turned into fast break points. Game over. Game over. You know what I mean? I'm just being, just coming from the eye test of what I was the game I was watching last night. From what I was looking at, I'm my theater room looking at the game last night. That had nothing to do with nothing but turnovers. Period. You turnovers. You got up a big lead. You got a little bit too relaxed, and you like I said, even like I said prior to that in the morning show, I was like, you know what? This is association. That because a team got 11 wins don't mean they're not talented. You could be talented and don't have wins. You know what I mean? And you could have talent and have wins. It all depends how you being coached. But I think what happened, people underestimated was look how the Timberwolves been playing since Fitch took over. You know what I mean? They're a different team with Fitch. They was like what 4-7 or whatever, something like that, in 20-something games, whatever the case may be. When they had Saunders or 18, but since Fitch been there, they like 5 games out of 12 or something like that. So they playing better basketball, and and I understand the frustration of a lot of fans. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I really do. But 18 turnovers. Everybody. You know what I mean? It was like, okay. Then they got too ISO for me. I know Julius Randle was a man, but then they started going ISO ball. So you're not gonna when the next person get the ball, they're not in rhythm because they standing there now. So I just think that they went away from it. And I understand the Peyton thing, and I understand, but Derrick Rose could have made a difference last night. You know what I mean? I really believe that. You know what I mean? So, but we let them off the hook last night. You know what I mean? We really did, man. I think that was the Knicks getting lackadaisical for us, thinking that they got the game won, so they got relaxed. Then I also think that they didn't realize, like, listen, man, you guys ain't you ain't did nothing yet. You trying to get to that next level, but you haven't did anything yet. You know what I mean? And that's why I say, I always said we were the 500 team, and that's where we at. You know what I mean? So we just gotta do it. Like Dan Alclett, salute, man. They was sloppy last night, man. They really were. I was like, okay, you cats not playing. You took that game for granted to me. That's all it was. They, you even with the Miami game, to a sense, you won 3 in a row. You feeling yourself. Now you came down to earth, but I didn't think that you was going to come down to earth last night again with the Timberwolves. So we got to chuck that up for a loss, everybody. You know what I mean? And on to the next one. And I think we'll rebound pretty well. You know what I mean? We always got to have confidence in this team. It's going to be a big game tomorrow. So we're going to get – but salute to everybody out there real quick, man. Knicks Real Talk, you know what I'm saying? The night show, Divine and BS Jedi 76. Salute to everybody out there on YouTube, on Facebook. Salute to everybody out there. Hope everybody doing well, man. They out there chilling at their home, chilling, had a good day at work, school, play, whatever the case may be. They back at their, their residence just chilling, man, on an off night. And, so I hope everybody doing well, man. The model, man, COVID-19 still out there. Wash your hands, keep your distance, and you know what I mean, and all that good stuff. And just take care of everybody, man. Take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones, your friends, and respect everybody. And it's all good. Yeah, man. But, it's just the recap thing, man. It was the turnovers. We a couple of guys didn't have the game they wanted. And RJ and Randall had a good game. Them the only two pretty much had a good game. You know what I mean? And Noel gave us a minute. Taj had a good game. Let me refer to Taj had a good game. I like the way Taj played last night. I just thought we could have got a little bit more from Bullocks, Emmanuel quickly, and them guys, and unfortunately we didn't. But what happens, man? So we took the L last night, and we had to accept that and move on, man. We 24-24, going on to the next one, BX, and I just think that we gotta just get back to our ways, man. These last 2 games to me wasn't the Knicks basketball that I'm used to, that I was seeing earlier. So I don't know what the call may be. I hopefully it's not getting slowed down. I don't think so. I mean, they professional. They got the best trainers in the world. They got the best medicine in the world. So when people think about the timetable of playing these guys too long, kill that noise. Back in the days before they even had all these trainers and all these good medicine and all that, Knicks guys were playing basketball for 44 minutes on every night. Walt, Clyde Frazier, them never complained about minutes. Like even guys in a modern NBA. So all that the Knicks are too tired. Nah. Man, that's not happening, man. Them cats got the best of the best. We're chucking up BX, man. And so what do you think other than that, man? What do you think that happened last night? And why the Knicks looked like the way they looked last night?
What I remember I comment on the last night show to keep an eye on is the effect of not having Mike Woodson on the bench. That extra pair of eyes, just to see from a coaching, another pair of eyes of a coach to seeing what's going on the court. What adjustments suggest to Thibodeau and say, hey, look, something's going on, or during the timeouts I seen this on my side. Remember, I know it's a different sport, but remember the New York Yankees on the '96 run, that dynasty run, they had Don Zimmer along with Joe Torre. I'm bringing this baseball reference. Today's opening day, and baseball season's in here in full effect. But he had that. Don Zimmer was a very good coach, a manager himself, and he was a coach with Joe Torre, and he will see certain things, and they would also see another point of view of the game, another perspective, and bring that forward. Maybe they're missing Woodson just a little bit. Maybe this is just a few games of adjustment without having that Woodson, and maybe the next coach on the bench, he's now delegated to their responsibilities, and he has to get acclimated with just his and multitask because they are one coach short, even though there's. The players still have to execute and still play. They got sloppy, and salute to City for real. Glad you're in here with us. We know that you out there, and we give you that salute. And with that, we have to keep an eye on that. And also in the fourth quarter alone, RJ Barrett had 5 turnovers, all balls off his knees. If he would have cleaned that up, who knows? It'll be a different game. I think because they saw this in Madison Square Garden. They tried to do a little run, and we closed it out with our defense, and we hit some timely shooting. So they must have felt confident that way. And also, you can't win if you're shooting 70% free throws. You have to hit a little. You have to do a little more better. You have to have close to 85% of your free throws. We don't get much of the whistles, and we don't get much on the strike. So we have to capitalize every time we get the free throws as much as possible. We have to be a much better free throw shooting. And once again, I said it's not the centers that usually the centers are the pro free throw shooters. It's our guards and our forwards are missing key free throws, and that we have to clean that up. Now going forward, especially in the playoffs, that every point is you need every single point is real crucial, and they need to start hitting their free throws and we have to play with the guys that we have, folks. I know as much of a lightning rod Alfred Payton is, and a lot of fans do not like him, but he has to play. He's here on this team. There's no reinforcements. We can't make a trade. There is no point guard that we could bring in here. And also when I was contemplating after that, Divine, maybe they didn't bring an Andre Drummond in here. They didn't bring anyone in. They didn't want to they say about chemistry, but they didn't want to upset the apple cart by. You got these kids, Knox, you have Frank, you have a few other players that are not getting much minutes, and you're bringing someone from the street. You already brought Derrick Rose in pretty much from the trade, and you ejected him in the second unit and you giving him more minutes, and you're taking away minutes from some of these guys that have been here and have longevity and been here putting the work in practice, and maybe they didn't want to continue bringing people from the outside in to take that minutes, but this is a business. You have to produce it. They're in the business of producing and winning games and developing, and they have to. And it's a fine line for that. And they didn't want to kind of lose the locker room or upset the apple cart, bringing in someone that take their minutes. Maybe that's why they didn't do any moves. That's what I'm just thinking of that. And I just want to say, hey, that Knicks that never sleep, welcome on the board, my brother. Thank you for checking in. And Divine, that's what I started contemplating. I'm thinking maybe that's why they haven't done any moves yet.
Yeah. I can see that from that perspective too, man. I think they just gonna roll with what they got, and they say, we're gonna let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? And we circle the wagon back in the summertime. You know what I mean? And I still think they're gonna get a couple of roster spots. Everybody, I think a lot of fans also got to chill. They got to the 9th and 11th, so the Knicks is not rushing. Because what about somebody fall into their lap that, so they're not rushing to get that buyout. I think they're going to do the buyout. I think they're just going to wait. They might say till the clock strike 12, but they want to see what they make sure they're getting what they need. And I can understand that, but overall, man, the game last night, it was a little disappointing, but I also know that, the reason why I was disappointed because I know we should have won the game, hands down. The mistakes killed us. The number one thing last night to me was the turnovers. Everything else to me is just, it is what it is. The turnovers. 18 turnovers, you give up 39, something like that, in the second half of last quarter, something, whatever the case was. But they gave up a lot of points. You can't do that, man. Imagine if you would have had 10 turnovers.
Right.
Knicks probably would have won by 15. You know what I mean? And they probably would have won by 15. They would have had 10 turnovers or something like that. So, but to have the extra 8 turnovers, look what we lost by 1 point. Imagine if those turnovers wasn't like that. That game was over.
Free throws, Divine. Or free throws that we missed.
Absolutely. And so that's what I take from that, BX. It's just that, the 3 free throws, like you said, the turnovers, and I don't like, I'm not liking our intensity level. You know what I mean? That's bothering me right now. Maybe they, like I said, they had a real tough grind. They starting to hit that second win. They might got to catch it, whatever. So I'm hoping they catch it tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm hoping they catch it tomorrow, in the game coming up. So, salute to everybody in the chat, man. City for real, my brother. What's going on with you, man? You know the deal, man. We here, man. Let's cut it up, man. Salute to you. The Knicks that never sleep, salute. Frank Matto, salute all the time. Dan up in the chat, everybody in here, man. We just chilling, talking Knicks. We going over the recap of the game yesterday. We're going to just jump into something, another segment. And it's still a lot to uncover, man. I know a lot of Knicks fans feeling down because normally at the Knicks loss, everybody not feeling it, you know what I mean? But it's a long season, man. You know what I mean? That's what they say. The NBA is a long season. And so we got to get used to it. You know what I mean? It's going to be that way, And, so right now, as far as, from that game last night and where we stand at right now, in the Eastern Conference standard, we got the 76ers at number 1, Nets at number 2, Bucks at number 3, Hornets at number 4, Heat at number 5, Knicks at 6, Hawks at 7, Suns at 8, Pacers at 9, Bulls at 10, Raptors at 11, Wizards at 12, Cavs at 13, Magic at 14, and the Pistons at 15. I think let me make a correction here. Brooklyn is now number 1. Philly is number 2. So just let me get that out there. But, like I said, man, we know we lost. We still 6 in the standings, man. You know what I mean? 24 and 24. We still in the thick of things. We don't want to go down. We want to go up. So I think the game tomorrow is going to be a huge game for us. You know what I mean? We need to go in there and get that. You know what I mean? So I think I'm excited. I think they're going to be excited too. I think the Knicks I think they really feel like, you know what? They let Tibbs down last night. I really believe that. I think that team probably feel like, man, we let the coach down. We want to get this from him. You know what I mean? And they fell asleep at the wheel in the second half. So, in the third quarter, basically the last quarter, you asked me. So I think they're going to have a little bit of mojo with them tomorrow, trying to bounce back off a 2-game skid. They don't want to go under 500. So, and right now we 5th. Like I said, my mistake, you were saying the Hornets playing the Nets, and the Nets is pretty much giving it to them. So we just got to, hope some of the teams that we battling against lose tonight while we got a night off, that we go in there tomorrow and make it happen. You know what I mean? So the standard is what it is, but we still in that. Like I said, I do believe the 8 is there. You know what I mean? The eight teams in the first one, the 8 is going to be there. So we just got to hope that we stay in that mix of a higher seed and then make it happen, man. So what do you think about the standard and where we at coming off that loss last night?
Tomorrow night game is a pivotal game. It defines the 2 games under 5 or back to 500. It's really pivotal. It could move the direction of our season. And you're at home. It's a nationally televised game. Right now, RJ Barrett is questionable, as well as Derrick Rose. Hopefully, they will be able to feel better tomorrow. Wake up and play. We're definitely going to need them. We definitely need our point guard. We definitely need point guard play. Strong point guard play. That's the key of always our victory. When our point guards play well and set the tone, and Julius Randle has a high assist game, that always helps us. But I hope they make this adjustment and they get better on their 3-point perimeter defense. I'm getting that no matter how good the Knicks defense is, like for some reason their 3-point defensive back again lacking. And I think they're feeling it. They feel like they have to help double, especially in the paint. But they should. I think they should take this gamble because I think Noel and Gibson, they're big boys. They could get man the paint alone. They don't need the double team. And if the team is, from time to time is going to penetrate, I'll give up a 2 ball over a three because if those threes are killers and momentum swings. So I rather them stay and play the perimeter. Maybe incorporate a little zone. They're doing it to us. Why not throw a little bit of a zone out there? But you know what? That's so much to ask for because there's not enough time of practice. They don't have enough practice time to go ahead and want to change their scheme in the mid flight of the season. 40, 49, 48 games. And you know what? We're gonna go with what got us to this dance, and it's just the same defense we're playing. But I wish they'll guard more the perimeter and not help double so much in the paint. Because that's what's killing us, these dagger 3-pointers and allowing teams to start their locomotive engines in their offense and start going on these runs. And I think if we limited that with the way we play defense and limit it and play better on the perimeter, and I think we'll have more success, more wins. So hopefully they make those minor tweaks and adjustment around shoot arounds and whatever practice they do get, because it's one day of rest and right back at it to the grind. So it's just part of the season. Now you might see that in the playoffs. You might see it because you have time off between series or before the playoffs start, and you get to do these practices. But what we see, the coaches see because they're religiously studying film. They're probably studying film the minute they change in the locker room. As soon as they finish their media press conference, they're looking at film on the plane or whatever, and they're checking it out. So those are the things that we see, and yeah, let's get that pivotal game. Keep that intensity, like you said. We haven't had that real intensity, especially in the fourth quarter. We need to play anxious all 48 minutes tomorrow. Very anxious, very desperate. And we have to play the way Miami came out. They were hell bent. They weren't going to, even if they're down, they weren't going to take this loss. And we have to and mimic that same exact intensity and that hunger that these other teams had. We can't take nothing for granted. And maybe we might. I think they felt like we took Minnesota Timberwolves for granted a little bit. And we, like I said, we got punched right in our face. And it stings us because we really wanted that for them to get high up there and get separation, and right now we were just holding on to the 5th to 6th seed, and we have a little bit of a cushion, but you know what? You can't breathe. You have to continue doing yourself, putting the pedal to the metal yourself, because this Eastern Conference is going to be a jockeying position up and down, up and down. We knew that, and we knew that it was going to be up and down nights, and we were going to get, but you need to go out and beat the teams you're supposed to beat. A sub 500 team, you're supposed to go out there, and especially record-wise, one of the worst teams in the league. You're supposed to beat that, and we got to win tomorrow night and start another winning streak, because then we have Detroit on a back-to-back night, and I would dislike to have to lose both of them, or then the Detroit game is a must-win on a back-to-back night. Let's get this one. Let's get the first one now, and let's continue small steps to build the vine.
Yeah, I agree, and that was the reason why as I was getting the production done for the show, I had made the turnover with lack of intensity and playing 48 minutes when I was doing the production earlier today, because that's what we've been seeing. Like them turnovers last night killed us. They just straight up killed us. There's nothing you can say about it. Nothing can change that. Them facts. You know what I mean? And like you said, the lack of intensity and playing 48 minutes, man, you got to go hard from the buzzer to the other buzzer. You know what I mean? From the buzzer sound starts to the buzzer finish, you got to go all the way. And I just think that in that Miami game, Miami brought some intensity. We didn't bring it. And this game, I noticed, I'm like, these cats getting a little tensed out here. You know what I mean? They high five and they Yancey. They bench was like, they bench was into it. You know what I mean? When they was coming back, and I was like, where's that end that we normally have like that? You know what I mean? And I didn't see that the last couple of games. And so it's interesting because, like you said, we got a good 3-point percentage, guard the 3-point line percentage pretty good this year. You know what I mean? We really, and so to me, it's like, it's just simple mathematics. 2 times 10 is 20, 3 times 10 is 30. You know what I mean? So, if you give up 2 points, you only got 20 points. You give up 3, 10, you give up 10 3, you got 30 points. You got to guard the 3-point line. You know what I mean? It's a 3-point league, and that's where, and that's what you got to do first and foremost. It's not, I was just disappointed because our team didn't do what they normally do. You know what I mean? They normally get out there and guard that 3 line. And, but I think the turnovers and going hard from the beginning to end. And that's huge. And I think we've been living off that the whole season, you know what I mean, the first half of the season. So, but the good thing about it, Knicks fans, man, we still are 500. You know what I mean? We in the doldrums. We still in a good position, so we don't want to get too down on ourselves because we lost a game we should have won. We know we should have won that game. But you know what? That could be also going to be a learning lesson, too. They know they got something to go home and contemplate about last night. Like, man, you know what? We let that get away. You know, that was ours for the taking. It should have been an easy game. We should have won it in, did what we had to do. So I'm quite sure they're dwelling on that and they're contemplating about it, saying, man, you know what? We can't have this. You know what I mean? Tom Thibodeau back where he coached that, man, you know, we would have got that for him. So I'm quite sure the guy feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? And hopefully they respond very well. And Dan Ackland, forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong, Alcanet, said, do you guys think Tibbs should start letting the bench play more to start the starters rest, though that he pulled the bench too early yesterday? Yeah, I agree with that to a sense, Dan. You know, but I guess he's coaching the way he's coaching, but but I don't have a problem. Him giving them guys a little bit more time to play and all that. But I think he gets concerned when he sees the momentum change. See, Tibbs, one thing I can say truly about Tibbs. I don't think a lot of coaches would have gave Obi this opportunity the long as he did. You know what I mean? I don't think they would have gave like guys like that opportunity. He's playing them, but they know they got the game up. You know what I mean? He's given. If you go in and get in the game and you make a bucket or two and you playing good defense, he won't take you out. Because Tibbs like to roll with the guys who got the good momentum. I noticed that about him. It doesn't matter who it is. If he got that guy in there and they playing well, they stay in. And even if I think that's what it boiled down to him. Because you look at the game last night, the guys who weren't playing well, he wasn't keeping it there. You know, he was trying to find.
That's why we didn't see much of Quickly in the fourth quarter. Quickly didn't have such a good game as usual game. He was serviceable. And he wasn't, and he saw that he was struggling. His shot wasn't there last night, so that's why we saw more out for Payton on the floor that night. On the fourth quarter, more in the crunch time because Quickly just didn't have it. He for some, hey, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have an off night. And that's what he saw, and he went with that. And usually Bullock, he'll play not too much down the stretch either, and he likes Burks and Quickly, and sometimes rolls on there, and he switches on that. But with that that whatchamacallit, the substitution, the question that Dan gave us. Sometimes I get a little frustrated, but I understand when, especially in the third quarter, when he keeps the starters and he makes the substitution like 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and you bring the second unit, and then the second unit comes in and he quickly starts the no pun intended, starts bringing up the rally and the run, and then they go into the fourth quarter, and then they start the fourth quarter sometimes with the second unit. And then that break in between the quarter, you kind of kill that momentum from the second unit because our second unit in the first half usually are the ones that propel and give the lead most of the time. They did it with Miami. They were part of that 16-0 run. And then sometimes, maybe the starters don't have it. Maybe you want to pull the starter maybe with 6-7 minutes left and put the second unit in for a while. The second unit don't have it, and you can bring in your start, the little mix and matching or I think. But like I said, he's the head coach. He knows his players. He knows what he's got. He reads the temperature of the team. But maybe that's why I said Woodson absence might help because he might see that, he might want to do that. And the coach says, you know what, hold on. I think you should not, or I think you should go for it. I see, players are missing the shot because these coaches work one-on-one with a lot of these players. Coaches and they work with them and they see and they know if they're on their shots or their body language, if they got something that they're off or whatever, the coach would tell the head coach, hey, I don't think that he's off a little bit tonight. So those things are big important. So things that we need to keep an eye out on that to see that Divine and going forward with that, we got to see if that's something important. So, but like I said, I wanted this game let's turn the page on that. There's so much to dissect that and we're not going to be negative. We're going to keep it positive. This is going to be a learning experience, like all the other games that we lost. It's a learning experience. I'm pretty sure that this the last shot of the game is burning RJ Barrett up. He's probably like replaying that shot over and over in his mind, and knowing that the way that kid works hard, and he's a gym rat as well. He's gonna improve his game to another level. I think I think that this might be a good humbling experience for him too. What he could have done different. I'm pretty sure he must have seen the video 1,000 times about what he could have done. He could have. I personally, easier said than done. He should have went drive a little more to the basket and probably got on a floater, because he could beat Cat off the dribble, and he's more quicker. But maybe since what probably crossed his mind is, I turned over 5 times off of my knees going to the hole. And that probably that must have played a big part in his decision to take that jumper. And then he gets a little trolled by Anthony Edwards at the end of the interview. I'm pretty sure he's gonna read those comments by Edwards. It's gonna definitely motivate that young man, because that man, he gets motivated. He got motivated. He didn't get into the all rookie team, last year, and all NBA rookie defense, and that motivate that kid. So that kid likes to put a lot of motivation towards him, and that's just bulletin board material for him to move forward. And we'll see him bounce back. And I know Quickly's gonna have a better shooting game again. He's good. He what we're gonna get from the young man. And I just want to make sure that Alex Burks don't shy away and go and return back to that shy and 6 points, 7 points. I really think that when he's the consistent third scorer on this team, that's why we'll get successful. We need that. The team desperately needs them to step up on that moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Dan, actually, I believe, and those comments about Anthony Edwards definitely helps. Yeah, absolutely, man, I agree. And real quick, y'all, before we go into the next segment, we're gonna take a quick 20-30 second break. We'll be back on, so we'll be right back in. We're gonna chime for about 30 seconds. I'll come right back in for you guys. Yeah, man. Real quick, guys, the up and coming schedule. We got the Mavericks tomorrow at the World Most Famous Arena at 7:30. Then we got the Pistons on the third of back-to-back. We got the Nets on the 5th, and we got the Celtics. At the Celtics, and we at the Grizzlies as well. So that's the up and coming schedule, and we just got to go in there and battle it out. Keep grinding hard, and then we'll make it happen. So you know what? That's the schedule, man. We still in a good spot. You look at the game tomorrow. Hopefully we can get this Dallas game and that Piston game, man. And then and I really believe we can deal with the Celtics too as well. So we still got a chance to be what we want to be, man. We just got to keep maintaining that 500 basketball. Salute David Jackson, man. We see you, my brother. Appreciate your chiming in. And it's real. So we just got to keep doing our thing, man. And take this upcoming schedule and try to get that game tomorrow. That's going to be an exciting game tomorrow. We all know that. We're going to get into that in a couple of segments later about the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow and everything, man. So, but yeah, we 24-24. We 500. We still 500. Coming off 2 tough losses that we wanted. We should have got. But the Miami game, I can understand that. But the game last night, obviously, we knew we should have won that game. So, like I said, 18 turnovers not definitely going to help that cause. So we just got to keep grinding now. But as you see this on the tip, y'all guys see the up and coming schedule. And what did you guys think about the upcoming schedule? Anything in there you guys think we're going to win, we're going to lose, or we can win? So if you got anything you want to throw in the chat about the up and coming schedule, feel free. I just think that Mav game tomorrow, that would be a nice bounce back game for us. Because we need to really let ourselves know who we are as the basketball team. And I think that'd be a good test tomorrow. It really does. And we can't take the Pistons for granted, because you take them for granted what happened in Minnesota last night. You can't take no team in the association for granted. Though I don't care if they record 1-37, they still NBA ball players. They still got they come to work every day, and just because their season not going a certain way don't mean they can't go out there and one night just turn it on. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we should have did this the whole season. So and I think that's what happened last night. Like the Wolves is playing better since they Finch took over as head coach. And we take them things for granted, what a different coach can make, what a different atmosphere can make, and I think that's, what that is. So we just got to go get it tomorrow, BX, man, and try to at least come out the schedule 3-2, and hopefully we'll be fine.
Yeah, 3-2. Actually, we'd like to say 4-1, but it's a
Yes.
tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I see Boston isn't playing so hot either, but they're chasing us. They're gonna give us their best shot, you know. And also we gave it to them by with double digit win. So last time we played them, so they're gonna be ready for that revenge game against us. And
Mhm.
Memphis, when you play Memphis, a Western Conference team, that always gives you fits. So that's not a gimme. And even the last time we played Detroit, it was a battle too. We put it down the stretch because we fought that intensity in the fourth quarter, you know, and they were a little bit they're on the talented just a hair from a lot from us, and that's why we prevailed with that. But so was the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they kept around, but they showed the reason why they had the number one pick in Anthony Edwards. He really showed up yesterday. He plays smart, and with this up and coming schedule, we can't take anything lightly. But let's start with the first one with the Mavericks tomorrow night. We know that Kristaps Porzingis will be in the building, and he's gonna want to, put a stamp onto this game. And I know that Luka's gonna want to feed him, and the only thing that concerns me is might be the size, but Kristaps Porzingis isn't really a post player. He wants to be in the wing shooting the three. So
Mhm.
with that said, is to see what kind of scheme and matchups Thibodeau is going to play on him, because I don't think Noel will be going out to defend it. Maybe Randall, because Randall's been taking the pretty much their best player, but Kristaps isn't the best player. It's Luka Doncic. So we'll see how they're gonna miss him match, because they can't double team because they have a lot of perimeter shooters, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be up for the task, wanting to make a statement. And Trey Burke, they all want to make a statement. They want to show that they could have been here to be part of this turnaround, and they're gonna come with their best A game on that. And we have to be very 48 minutes games, and not worry about that we have a back to back. We'll worry about that when that bridge crosses. With that, and also, real quick, I wanted a quick salute to Steve from Elite Maintenance. I know he always watching, my brother, and always tell me that he follows us and listens to us. Appreciate it. And also Air Force Airman Brian Mejia. Shout out to you. I know you're out there listening to us as well. Thank you for your service. And yeah, and all that. And with that said, tomorrow night's game, I hope the referees allow them to play. I hope the referees allows them to play, and they don't inject themselves as part of the primetime game on national television. I hope they just, hope we don't hear from them. I hope we just see them running up and down the court, and that's it. All that, and we'll see on that Divine on tomorrow night's game. What do you think? Tomorrow night's game, do you see this is going to be competitive? You think it's going to be a one-sided, or what do you think?
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna bring on. We got a guest coming on, man. First time, welcome to the show. My man Dan is in the building. Dan, salute, young man. How are you, my brother?
Salute to you, Divine. Salute to you, BX. I watch you guys on the NBK, and I just, came up on the channel. So, it's the Knicks thing. Every day you wake up, you go to sleep. Only thing on your mind is the Knicks.
That's right.
Welcome
That's right.
aboard. Welcome aboard, Dan. It's a
We
pleasure having
appreciate
you.
you coming aboard, DA, man. Welcome aboard, brother. And we appreciate your support, man. And always chiming in with the Knicks Real Talk the Night Show, man. So we ain't here, man. We got a guest. We got Dan A in the building, man. Knicks Real Talk the Night Show. Divine BX Jedi 76, my co-host, and we got the brother Dan A checking in the in the panel for the first time. Welcome aboard. This is a show for the fans, from the fans. It's for the fans, for the fans. So and the fans make the show don't make the fans. So this is what it is, man. We here. Dan, man, we were just talking about a little bit of the schedule that we had coming up. The up and coming schedule. We got the Mavericks tomorrow, obviously. Then we going down to Detroit. Everybody's excited about Kristaps tomorrow, man. What do you think about the up and coming schedule? Anything you want to talk about?
I feel like the Celtics game is very, very important. Like I know Mavericks coming up. It's the KP revenge game. It's always going to be a saga for the news to push all that. But the Celtics is a very important game because we have to keep certain opponents within our division like from an arm's reach. That's what made yesterday's game embarrassing. Was that if we couldn't do that, if we couldn't beat the worst team, what's going to happen to the teams in our division that are all, vying for playoff spots? So I think the Celtics game is a very, very important game. Like they have to circle that one. But other than that, as far as the Mavericks, I, I've watched a couple of their games this season, and with Porzingis, without Porzingis, they play zero defense. They like to run and gun. So our pace, like the way that we slow the game down, we have to implement that. Our defense is going to be very important tomorrow. That and I know some people don't like to hear it, but that the last couple of games we played them, Frank was very important. We need to see Frank again.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right.
agree with that, especially if if RJ don't even come back tomorrow, if he's out tomorrow because of the ankle injury. You know what, Frank is that man, is that one where I like, even in the last night game, he could have did something to change the momentum in that game with his defense. You know what I mean? Because when they were starting to get into this crazy stealing turnover mode, running up and down the court, Frank know how to change that. You know what I mean? And that's why and I know people like you said, man. I agree with you, Da. I know we got a lot of people don't believe in Frank, but Frank, he's that guy that could change the type of game with his defense. You know what I mean? When the team going on a run, he could slow the opposing point guard down. He could slow Rubio down. He could stay in front of him, them long arms. He can make it hard to get the ball in the passing lanes. You know what I mean? And Frank disrupts our offense pretty good. You know what I mean? So I agree with you on that one. But yeah, man, that Boston game is definitely one we got to circle that, man, because like you said, division game, they competing to where we at. You know what I mean? Right now, you know what I'm saying? We six. They seventh, something of that nature. So we got to be on our grind and go in there and battle them cats, because I really believe that if Noel and Top Gibson can play their game, I think we could beat Boston. The Boston is not too heavy up front. You know what I mean? Tristan Thompson, Williams, and they just got Luke Cornett, ex Nick. You know what I mean? Who can stretch the floor, but they ain't them guys. I'm not too much worried about them. So I know it's one game at a time. And but I'm looking forward to us bouncing back. Not because it's KP and the Mavericks. We just need a bounce back game. You know what I mean? We need to go in there, have a bounce back game, and say, you know what, we lost 2 in a row. We wasn't playing Nick basketball. Our intensity level definitely wasn't there. I didn't feel it in the Miami game. I was disappointed about that. Like, where's the intensity at? And then last night, you seen their bench, they was in it. You know what I mean? They was Yancey, they was up and in it. And I just didn't see the fire that we normally had in the beginning of the season. So hopefully we can correct that. And like I said earlier, man, them losing that game, knowing that Tom Thibodeau coach there, they probably wanted that. They probably feel like they let Thibodeau down last night. So I know that's on their mental. They're on their mind. They're like, okay, you know what? We let coach down. We had an 18-point lead. We should have blew them cats out. You know what I mean? But 18 turnovers is not going to cut it against anybody. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? 18 turnovers is 18 turnovers. And that's and if they converted even half of them, that's 18 points. You know what I mean? So I'm like, whoa, so that was kind of disappointing to see. But like we move on from that, man. And but yeah, salute Dangerous, Brooklyn Belly, everybody, man. We see y'all. Salute for chiming in the chat. That's where it's at down there. You know what I mean? So we got Divine BX Jedi 7. So we got my man Dan A in the building with us tonight. Just following and coming in on the chat, man, on the panel, man. We appreciate you chiming in, coming in, because it's a show for all of us. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Knicks Real Talk is a show for the fan, from the fans, man. And listen, let's get into this thing. Being that we were talking about that, let's get into it, man.
I was going to say real quick. I see the Dangerous wrote about the Frank love.
Frank, I was about to.
I'm not a Frank fan. I'm going to be honest. This is real talk. But he's here, and I do respect his game. He has he's a good defender. And he's a young man, like Divine brings up all the time. He's an 18-year-old who came from another country to play here on the world's largest market with a high expectation. And the kid has been nothing but a solid pro, quiet, good locker room. Everyone likes him. Yeah, he has a lot of deficiency and shortcomings. I'm not going to lie about that. But I would like Thibodeau, whenever we get up by more than half a dozen, I would like Thibodeau to substitute sometimes and sacrifice a little bit of offense for defense, because the kid could play defense. You think he not only on a guard, he can play a wing player as well. He plays a guard, and I would like to see him play a little bit, because he tends to, on national televised game, I don't know why, he tends to do some great plays, some type of signature play with him that he just either dunking, getting into LeBron's face, doing all these little things that a lot of fans indulge. They like that, and maybe he'll get some burn tomorrow. and we'll see. And salute to David Navarro. Thanks for checking in. And let me read your question. It says, "Let's keep it real. RG's jumper last night was right on. Just a little short. He was grooming the star player. Relax.
Yep.
We're not killing the RJ Barrett. We want. I've been, if you follow us here, I've been one of them saying I'm craving for him to be the closer of the team. I say I want RJ Barrett to be our closer and going forward. He's turning into a very good two-way player.
Yeah.
And RJ Barrett is slowly but surely he's held his opponents on the 40% shooting. It's just you're gonna have a bad stretch here and there. And I'm guaranteed he's gonna be fueled by tomorrow. He's gonna see what happened. He failed, and that with missing the shot. And I'm pretty sure you put him 10 out of 10 times. I guarantee he'll make 70% of that going forward with Devon. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, as far as RJ, I'm never really concerned about RJ. I saw it from the tapes and when he was playing on Team Canada. I saw it at Duke. I remember when all the hype was around Zion, and I was watching him, and I'm like, I understand that Zion is the athletic freak, but I feel like this is the guy. Like when it all crumbled, like when it all came down to like who you wanted to make sure to get a bucket, they still naturally went to RJ for a reason. Like he has that alpha dog mentality. So I'm never worried about him. As far as what Danger Russ said, as far with pertaining to Frank, I'm. It's not like I don't see Frank as a. I don't see Frank as a. I don't know how else to say. I don't see Frank as a point guard. I don't see him as a very, very important piece. But I do see his defense as something that can help a, a, a contending team continue to contend. I'll even take it as far as like if you put him on a lineup tomorrow somewhere in the game where you have Randall, hopefully RJ's playing, you put Frank in there, you have Reggie, and then you have Noel. I'm okay with letting Frank take most of those defensive possessions on Doncic and KP, and more so like not stressing Reggie so that Reggie can get back to a shooting rhythm. It's all about how you use the players. Like that's all I want to see is can we use our players optimally? Don't tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can do and show me how you can use that.
I agree.
Real talk. Yeah, real talk. And real quick, yeah, man, how many moves? Knicks TV, salute to you. David, salute to you. And here's another thing. We were talking about this earlier in the show, Dan. The Knicks perimeter defense. What do Franklin Killer do best?
Oh my God.
Perimeter defense.
That's
What does Killer Killer do good? Perimeter defense.
like
So is unbelievable. Frank, man, now listen. Frank can lock jokers down. And if we want to be the team we want to be, it doesn't. He don't. Even if it's for one possession, you know what I mean. It could be two possessions. Bring them in when you need a defense stop. Ain't no wrong with throwing Frank in there for 30 seconds. I don't care what you throw him in there.
even
Off of the body. So that's what I look at things like when I look at people like Frank and them and they're like RJ. Yeah, man, that's no question. RJ is legit. He's the real deal. You know what I mean? He haven't even played a full second year yet. You know what I mean? And the cat putting up better numbers than last year.
Yeah.
14 and 17 and 18, the rebounds up, the assists is up, his free throws is up. That's what you call elevation. That's maturation. That's progress. So next year, RJ, I'll be doing 20 up a game. It's different levels to it. You know what I mean? And I think you got to take a step by step to a higher level. And once you get to that higher level, then I think next year RJ gonna be easy flirting with the All-Star team. Because you know why? He done learned more of the NBA now. He got another year on his belt. He got more experience. Now he know coming into that next year, his third year. I know what this cat was doing on me last year. I'm gonna switch that up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what maturation is. It's just about learning from what you went through the previous time and do something different. And I think he will. Even quickly, I think quickly will be the same way. Quickly gonna go in the next year like, okay, I know how the NBA roll now. You know what I mean? I've been here a year. I know what I need to work on. I need to get in the weight room to get a little bit more strength so I can take that bump or I can go to that hole. He's gonna be fine. So I'm excited about our team. And despite the loss, I like the trajectory where we going. You know what I mean? And so let's get into this, man. I had it up on the screen for a while. KP in town, how y'all feeling? Salute to the chat. Y'all let me know. KP in the building. I know y'all want to talk about it. We gonna be about it. And you know what? KP in town is fine, but we playing the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. KP just a part of the team. I ain't worried about KP. KP was the man. I love KP when he was here. He was one of my dudes, but he ain't the Knicks no more. So what can I tell you? You know what I mean? Yeah. But he ain't on the Knicks no more. So hope we do well where he at. He went to go to Dallas. He got to Dallas. But you know what? We here. We hold it down. And since he's been to Dallas, he ain't beat us yet. So who cares? You know what I mean? We gave it to him 2 times last year. So so you might get expect a third one tomorrow. You know what I mean? I think the Knicks going there. They're going to get this game tomorrow. You know what I mean? I really believe they like, nah, we're not losing 3 in a row. And Dallas, like DA said, I agree 100%. Because they don't play defense. That's not what they stand for. So you know what? We bring our A game, bring our lunch pails and our hard hats tomorrow, man. Get that New York City gritty committee thing popping off tomorrow, and let them know that you coming into the world most famous arena. It's going to be a battle tomorrow. And I think that's what the Knicks got to do. They just got to come in tomorrow. We got to get back to our ways when we were in the first half of the season, holding jokers down with field goal percentage wise, playing that gritty style of basketball, and let you know that you haven't did anything yet. 24-24 is good, but you ain't did nothing yet. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, in a way, that loss last night might have taught them something. Or you need to pump your brakes. You ain't did nothing. You 24-24 is cool, but you ain't did nothing. So hopefully that they learn off that tomorrow, man. What you think, man? BSKP in town tomorrow. The buzz gonna be popping off all over the place on national TV. So what you think?
That's right. That Garden, the 20,000 fans are gonna be loud. They're gonna be loud. They're gonna give it to him every possession. I think hopefully that's just gonna have more motivation, more fuel to the fire. They know that they don't want to continue this 2-game slot. So that's one. They know that they let down the coach. So that's another one. And also they're on national television. So a lot of motivation, a lot of bulletin board material for the Knicks are being posted there. And I know that they're home. They have to win the home games. They have to continue showing the dominance at home and showing that and you just can't come to the Garden and flip bottles no more or hang out, look around at the ushers, walking around the people and this is match. Wow, you're gonna come, you're gonna play a hard game. If you're gonna beat us, you're gonna leave a rough where court burns, because we're gonna knock you and we're gonna move you around and we're gonna play our defense and we're gonna muck it up and we're out there. So we're here, we arrived. We got a long ways to go. And just we just finished. Hopefully, we finished digesting that Minnesota humble pie that we had. And I think that's how it goes. And what do you think, Dan?
Oh yeah, most definitely. They gotta. I know the energy in the Garden is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be directed at KP, but the team has to use that energy, like Devon said, to beat the Dallas Mavericks. It doesn't matter what stat line Kristaps Porzingis has, to a degree. You still want to play defense on them because we are who we are. We hold that ranking we hold that defensive ranking that we hold for a reason. So you definitely want to play defense and you want to make it hard for them. But it's all about beating the Dallas Mavericks, because the end game is that we finish the season strong. Yeah, we're 24. Like you said, we're 24-24, but the season is not over. And cool, even if we do beat them tonight, like we still have to see them again on their home floor. So send a message today. Tomorrow. Send a message tomorrow that, hey, we, last year we caught you guys, but this year it's going to keep happening and expect it to happen next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Facts. Yeah, that's the approach I would take too. Real quick. Dangerous, man. Even not mad at KP for wanting to leave. I understand that. And, it is what it is. So is he on. A dangerous thing for the like in the background. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate everybody in the chat. How many moves? 6th or 7th. I see that, but I think I might have to lean with my co-host here. I'm looking at the 5th, but I can see that 6th or 7th if possible too, depending on how the injuries go, how the team gel at going through the rest of the season. We keep all our players healthy going into the last 24 games. I think we do got a chance to be 5 or 6. I really do, because just like we gonna win or lose, It's a lot of teams winning and losing just like we are. So right now,
Right.
I think the final 8 is already there. I think the final 8 is there. I just know where they're going to be at in that particular position. But I think the 8 teams from 1 to 8 right now, I think they're going to be locked. Now the 9th, 10th, and that's a different story. You know what I mean? But I think we in there, man. I think we just got to get back and to our winning ways. And definitely try to get this game tomorrow against the Mavericks. Hopefully we can go down and don't take Detroit for granted on a back-to-back.
Oh yeah.
Game, you know what I mean? So we don't want to let what happened in Detroit, what happened in Minnesota last night. Okay, I mean, and Tyler Bay, Sadiq Bay and them guys, Dennis Smith Jr. and all them guys. They still NBA ball players. Regardless of how talented you think they are, they still an NBA basketball team. They got an NBA basketball coach. You know what I mean? So they can go out on any given night and give it to anybody too if they play the right game. So you don't want to go in there sleeping. You know what I mean? I think we just got to try to get this game tomorrow and then get that win. Then we be back 2 games over 500 hopefully. So it's a long season, like DA said, man. It's a long season, and we're gonna go through these peaks and valleys. The Knicks is not going undefeated 24-0, God. Let's be real about that. So, but we do need to win. You know what I mean? Well, definitely we got to win the ones like last night. We supposed to win that. We should have won that, no question about it. So within the game we need to win. Then we let the chip fall where they made with everybody else, man. And I'm excited about it, and I think the Knicks is looking good. And so yeah, I mean KP in town, but you know what, God, we playing the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. We're not playing KP. He's part of that, and we ain't gonna get caught up in all the hype and all the hyperbole and all that. Man, we ain't trying to go through all that here. Now the Knicks real talk. We facts. You know what I mean? Dialogue, content, but no hyperbole. So I mean whatever. You know what I mean? Y'all can leave that to all the other streams and ESPN and whoever. You know what I mean? But over here we just gonna talk Knicks basketball, man. And that's what we do, you know what I mean? And right now, let's talk about this this buyout market, guys. I mean, we still got 2 open roster spots there. We got a chance to add to the depth. You know what I mean? I just think they're being patient with it. Like I was telling BX earlier, maybe they just wait until the clock strike 12. Make sure somebody might fall out into their lap. You never know. Somebody might silently say, you know what, we're gonna wait them, whatever. So they probably not rushing to do it. But I think we should do it, knowing that we got 2 open roster spots sitting there. I think we should try to find something to go there. So, Biggs, man, what do you think is out there, man? That's gonna make the Knicks a little bit more stronger, maybe give us a little bit more depth. Give us a little bit more firepower, offensively and defensively. Who you think is out there that you might think can help us in that situation?
The last few hours I was reading online, I was looking around. The Knicks were kicking the tires on Jabari Parker, which is somebody that I would like to bring here. A young man, he's still 26 years old. He's still finding his way in the league. He was the number 2 pick overall, and a good player. He could help. He could score. If he comes in here and he could give a punch that we don't have in a backup power forward right now because of due to the development of Obi Toppin, how it's taking a little longer than we expected and anticipated. To bring him in here, that would make sense. They're waiting for the very, very last second to see if what's getting really an eye out is in OKC with Al Horford. Even though he's on $54 million for the next 2 years, he's not happy being shut down with 27 games and plus they're telling him that they're going to a youth movement. So they, look for him to be, if he doesn't get bought out, he'll be traded in the offseason. With that contract, and it'll be an expiring contract to a team that could afford him. But it'd be perfect for him to get bought out, to be bought in here. He's a center who could play either power forward and could pass and shoot that 3 really good. But that's a long shot. Whiteside still hasn't been bought out. He had a little bit of injury. He's been on the injured list the past few days. So who knows if they're going to buy him out? But the Kings are fighting right back into that playoff series. They're close. They're really close. They're creaking up. I think they're a game out of the 11th spot in the Western Conference. So they're heading and trending in the right direction up. So who knows if they want to keep him? Because remember, if they do win that playing game, they get the first seed or and they go up against Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, and that they're going to need a center or backup center to go on that. And you see, I would personally like if Houston would buy a Kenny Olynyk. That'd be a perfect stretch forward to bring in here. Oh man, but he hasn't been bought out yet, so we gotta hope that bringing in and then you saw that all the buyouts. Gorgie Dang has been injured. He had a shoulder. They said he wasn't going to play tonight for San Antonio. You saw the Drummond got hurt. He hurt his toe. He's going to be missing 2 games minimum. for that toe injury as soon as he got on the floor. So I'm not saying they would have came to the Knicks and they would have got hurt. You never know. Injuries so unpredictable. You never know. Somebody could just wake up and just go brushing their teeth could get their back straighten their back. But you never know. But we'll see. Keep an eye on the buyout market because we need to get another center that would length and another wing. There obviously there isn't no backup point guard, so folks, we got to use whatever point guard we have on our team. So we have to be, it is what it is, and also you got to understand maybe they didn't make a trade. I was telling Divine this earlier. Maybe they didn't make a trade because they didn't want to upset the apple cart, bringing in players and moving guys, kicking their minutes and pushing them deeper into the bench. So yeah, so we'll keep an eye on those markets. Is anyone particular that you would like to see the Knicks pick up, Da?
For me, that's a twofold question because when you referenced earlier the reason why they didn't make any trades as far as like to not disturb the chemistry, two things can be true at the same time. I also think the reason why they didn't make a trade is because I think other than the unfortunate injury of Mitchell Robinson, I think everyone who's playing right now, I feel is supposed to be playing. I don't think they want to bring someone in who's going to take away minutes from Obi because when I hear people say like they want a scoring option from the buyout market, they mostly say that from the power forward position, meaning like you either want to bench Obi or you want to possibly move him out of position. The flip side to that is what I think we really need in the buyout market, and I don't know who fits this mold, is you just need a defensive big. I think what makes a difference is the fact that Mitchell Robinson got injured because I may be overhyping Mitchell Robinson, but to me personally, I think if he was still playing, we would have this 4 seed locked up, like clear as day. I don't think that Minnesota game would have happened because I don't think they would have sent Randall to guard Cat the way he did, and I think Randall would have had way more in the tank to finish it. But that game already happened. But as far as like with Mitchell Robinson being hurt, because that happened, you now have to fill in that void, and then you want to try and look in the mark out to see if you can fill in another void. It kind of feels like you're going into the mark out. You're going into the market for what's not there. I think you're only either getting one or the other. So you have to pick your losses. And I think the greater loss for them is like, okay, we can get a defensive big, but we can still let Obi Toppin play because at the end of the day, no one expected us to be where we're at right now. Not even us. Like the front office can sell us whatever they want, but they did not expect Randall to be an all-star. So you're playing with house money for the entire season. Just finish the season strong because that's what the no moves in the trade deadline told me. We're just trying to finish the season as strong as possible with what we have because we're way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I second that. Yeah, salute to Sid Nick in the chat, man. Salute. We see you, Sid Nick. Yeah, man. You know what? I think Mitchell Robinson definitely was the difference maker on this team, man. People don't understand, Mitchell Robinson neighborhood, as I call it. You know what I mean? And you missed that. You missed him down in that area, man. Mitchell Robinson guard 1 to 5 out on the perimeter. That dude can go out to the perimeter and stop a joker. You know what I mean? So he just makes a big difference, man. And I really believe that that's like I said BK early in a couple of streams ago. I wasn't mad at the trading deadline. I'm like, they didn't make nothing good. Stand packed. You only got 20-something games to go. You know what I mean? You about to go into the next season. You know what I mean? And you don't need to give away no draft picks right now. No need to give away, no capital. You know what I mean? We almost the season almost over. So now I believe the Knicks front office said, you know what? If we healthy, we can get to the playoffs. And if they get to the playoffs, to me, the season is successful. You know what I mean? And if you get in the playoffs, you make some noise, and then again, you still good. Go ahead, DA.
I also wanted to add, like, what people seem to like. What people seem to like confuse is like, they want they want us to enter the playoffs so bad because they see that it's a chance for, like, if they have like a few vets who can add a little more, but then you still find that perfect balance that you get, your young players in the playoffs, and that they can, that'll be a great learning experience. But like, you can't put the journey, how do I say, you have to put the journey before the destination. The journey is part of the way. And before they can even get to those playoff games that matter, they have to realize, like, hey, there's regular season games that matter. And granted, you you may have found out, like, early, like when man, messing with David Fizdale earlier in the season, you found certain games that mattered more because if you didn't win them, the season was gone. Well, now you're later in the season. You still have more wins under your belt now, but your season can still slip up. Every single game matters, and they're playing what they're playing. If not every other day, they're playing on back to backs. Like, because this condensed season is essentially one long playoff series. Yeah, you had the All-Star break in between, yeah, because everyone needs a break, but you're playing really every other night. These games matter. This is more than enough development for these guys, even the people that aren't playing, to have to sit there and question, damn, why is Tibbs not playing me? What do I have to work on? These are the certain things that, matter throughout the season. Like, this is the bigger picture that we have to look at.
Yeah. You know what?
Right.
Real quick
on that one.
go ahead.
The perspective and the narrative of the New York Knicks changed this season, especially early now. They didn't anticipate Julius Randle to be this all-star level. I agree, and they had a game plan. They were going to trade Randle and have Obi Toppin take over. The development of Randle into this franchise player has changed the whole perspective and narrative around, not just in the Knicks organization, but around the whole league. They're ahead of schedule. My point is, if you're ahead of schedule, we shouldn't take a step back and apologize for being ahead of schedule. Let's continue to build. If they would, I would have liked them to bring one. And if you're going to make at least an upgrade, because we all know. Let's be for real. This roster needs an upgrade, a roster upgrade in different positions. Yeah, correctly, right. But we need to take advantage, because you don't know. We thought the same way. And granted, they're two different teams. They're two different players. But the 54-win Knicks with Carmelo team that went in and lost to Roy Hibbert and the Pacers, we thought, we'll be back. We never sniffed that playoff back again. We never went and continued that positive role. So my point is, when you're this close to being a playoff, and especially the way the Eastern Conference is so wide open, except for the top three, and we know that they're going to be there and they're staples. From 4 all the way to I say up to 15 is all wide open. Anyone can move up on a hot streak. And if you see that this team is developing, why not reinforce it with minor deals and take a flyer on low-risk minor deals like Oladipo? They should have tried to get him in here to upgrade it and take a shot, because our point is we wanted Oladipo to come in here on a prove-it deal, because it really is a prove-it deal. He wants a max play. He wants a max contract. He's going to be hungry. He's going to want to and you go in there with this team the way it's playing, with a player that's motivated to make this max money in a playoff series in the New York market. Wow, that's motivation, could go a long way. Granted, things didn't lay out the way we wanted, but I don't think we should punt the season away and say, oh, well, we overachieved. We did, we're going to take victory laps. I think we should continue building. When you're so close to the promised land, you got to attack, man. I think so, Dan.
Real quick, before I chime in on my buy market thing, let's make this clear. The Knicks last year was 21 wins with David Fizdale and Mike Miller. Think about the guys that's in our starting lineup. They all played for the Knicks last year. If we would have had Tom Thibodeau last year, the Knicks would have been in the bubble. No question about it. Knicks would have been in the bubble if Tom Thibodeau was coaching this team last year. RJ was here starting. Alpha Payton was starting. Julius Randle was starting. Only ones wasn't started was Bullock and Mitchell Robinson. I think Todd, because they threw Todd in there. So a lot of them players, to me, was here last year. You know what I mean? And when I heard we hired Tom Thibodeau, you know what I said? We a 500 ball club, no doubt in my mind. Tom Thibodeau is a winning basketball coach. You know what I mean? That's his DNA. His DNA is about winning. In Chicago, he did it. When he left Chicago, look what happened to Chicago. He did it in Minnesota, got them to the playoffs. When he left Minnesota, look at them. They all trash. You know what I mean? So what tells me is that when the Knicks bought up Tom Thibodeau, I knew the culture was changing. I was like, you know what? These guys about to start winning basketball games because he got a coach who had the winning mentality. And what I like about what he's doing, think about it. He playing Obi Toppin. He playing RJ. He playing quickly. You know, he playing all the young guys. But at the same time, he's like, you know what? I'm trying to win games too. And that's why we're 24-24. So don't get me wrong. As much as people talk about Julius Randle last year, 20-9, 20-10, whatever. So now that he got a better coach, he's winning all season. He just started grinding. Like, I'm going to work on my shot. I'm going to work on my stamina. And, you know, and I think it's starting to show off. And so truly, I do believe that we do bring in the player because, you know what, development also can be learned on the bench. You know what I mean? And I just don't think Tibbs, they didn't bring Tibbs in to do the small rebuild. Let me let all the Knicks fans know that now. Tom Thibodeau didn't come in here to go the long route. I think he's gonna try to, like, I think RJ, Obi, and Quickly and all them. I think a lot of them first round picks we got now, you might not even see him in a Knicks uniform. You might not. You know what I mean? Because I think they're at a point now where, you know what, we got a bunch of aspiring contracts. We got an up and coming young player that who we can count on in RJ. We like what Quickly's giving us. We think Obi can pan out hopefully. So I think they you're not going to see all on draft picks ever hit the Knicks market. You know what I mean? And I just don't think that's what they're going to do. 7 first round draft picks in the next 4 years. You're not going to see all them players. So in the all season, they're going to be like, you know what? We got capital. We got draft. I'm not saying we trading our draft picks. What I'm saying is, I don't think you're going to see all of them. I think some of them might go in the deal. You know what I mean? To bring the boost that. Because think about it, Knicks a couple of players away from being a contender. They truly are. Because you look at even Brooklyn right now with all them players, but they can't stay injured. They can't stay healthy. KD, he'd be down 1 minute. Harden would be down 1 minute. And you know, and they not a defense playing ball club. You know what I mean? They got firepower, don't get me wrong. So I think everybody projected them to come out the East. But even look at what happened to LeBron. You know what I mean? LeBron goes down. This guy go down. So, you know, you always got a chance to be in there. You know what I mean? And I just think that Tom Thibodeau was born in here to develop these young guys, develop into great basketball players, which they becoming, and get me some soldiers in here. Because you got to remember, Tom Thibodeau, the only person Tom Thibodeau brought in here that he know was Derrick Rose. Everybody else was here. You know what I mean? So it's not like he brought these players in here. That he got the coach what they gave him. You know what I mean? And I think the jury's still out on a couple of them, but a lot of them might not be here next year. Like, you know, the 1 year deals like Alex Burks, Bullock, all these Alpha Payton. I doubt we see them guys next year. You know, this was to me like trial by error. Like, let me see who they made of. Let me see who I'm going to keep, who I'm going to let go. And I'm going to bring in some more. Whether let's hypothetically we do get somebody in the draft. If you pull out a high draft pick and he's nice, I think they'll take him. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of these guys not going to be here because they don't play a style of basketball. So we'll see, man. But the buyout market for me is it's interesting, man. Whoever they get, man, I just hope they get the better the team. And like I said, we are in the playoff race, guys. There ain't no need to look back. You know what I mean? We get in that first round of the playoffs, and just say we lose it. But we played all 7 games. You know what that's telling people? Number one, next year, they scary. Now you're going to have people like, man, I might go down to New York. I can make a difference in New York. You know what I mean? If I can imagine me on that team. Now free agents going to start being like, you know what? I need Julius Randle or RJ. I might be that piece they missing. You know, Kawhi Leonard might say, you know what? We exited in the second round. I don't want to be in LA. I'm just throwing out, hypotheticals. You know, he might say, you know what? Knicks willing to give me a max deal. I still got energy and take. So you never know. That's what I mean. You never know what the organization thinks. But I think they brought in a lot of great people. I think they brought in I love what they brought in here. I love Leon Rose, World Wide West, Scott Perry, Brock Aller. You know what I mean? And people need to give Scott Perry a due, man. So I hate now Scott Perry because he did a lot for the Knicks. That's why we got that capital in them 7 round draft, the first round draft picks. You know what I mean? Because he was smart with his money. You know, we ain't got no max contracts. We ain't got no bad contracts or nothing. That's Scott Perry right there. You know what I mean? So salute to Scott Perry. But they brought in a good front office, so we're gonna see where it go, man. And I think the buyout market, like I said, I like Jabari Parker for this reason. Let's just say right now the Knicks are in contention, but Obi just can't give it to it. There's nothing wrong with Obi stepping back for a little bit and then going to the all season work on your game. You know what I mean? Okay, you know what? We gave you all the opportunity where you had a whole season you played. They did not shut Obi down because he couldn't play. He's still back in the Julius Randle to this day. So you got to get the Knicks credit for that. They didn't study his growth. Now, when you come in the game, you don't produce it, you got to go out. That's obviously, I mean, that's life. You know what I mean? You ain't producing. Your boss might fire you on your job. So, we'll see. But I like where we at, man, guys. I really do, man. And we just got to keep it going, man. And we get in the next segment, man. But salute everybody out there. BX Jedi 76. We got my man DA in the building. Dan A is in the building, joining the chat tonight, the channel tonight, man. We appreciate you coming on, my brother. You're always welcome, man. Our door is your door, brother. So you come on in. And yeah, man. But we looking good, man. In the Eastern Conference standings, like I said, where we at, man? We at the fifth spot. We the sixth spot, man. I'm looking for the playoffs, guys. Listen, I'm an old Knick head. When I'm talking about old Knick head, I'm going back 1968 as a Knick fan. You know what I mean? As a Knick fan, you know what I mean? So it's been a long time, man. So I'm glad to see this thing pop off, man. So y'all gotta give me some thoughts on whatever y'all want to talk about, man. The door is open, man.
Go ahead, Dan. I know you had a point, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say with respect to like who we could have traded for if we could have made a minimal move. I want to say the reason why I think you couldn't make the minimal move, and like it's even looking at the standards now, is because the perfect example I think to me is Chicago. Chicago, I think they wanted all those players that they got. I think they wanted them for way less than what they paid for. But within the same note, they put themselves in a predicament where they have a coach that wants to win because he just left a losing situation. And you also have a player that wants to win, and you're not sure if you want to keep either. We're in a different position. We're in a better position. But what made this season so different is the fact that now the play-ins are added. So before, if you started the season realistically, you had about 16 to 18 teams that were trying to make the playoffs. An extra extra one from each division that made them think like, hey, maybe we could get it. Now, because of the play-ins, you got about like 24 to 26 out of the 30 teams that think like, hey, if we get that one game, we could get the ball rolling and we could just, keep going. So that's why this year is it's way different. I think this year is a lot tougher than people make it out to be. And we have to, I don't know what else to say. It's just like every game is going to be tough. Every team thinks they have the opportunity to win it all now because the play-in has made it that much harder.
Right, I'm gonna piggyback on that thought with that. That's why I'm being a little bit of an advocate here. I can see why the front office of the New York Knicks didn't make any moves and they wanted to stay together, pat, because they know what they have. So when you bring in players from another team, I know I'm a little bit flip-flopping. I'm being an advocate. I'm flip-flopping for a second, seeing another perspective. If they bring another player, they have to get acclimated. They have to go through that growing pains of learning each other, how to play with each other. And you see that going on in Boston as well as in Chicago. They're going through that adjustment period of knowing each other. And there's only 27 games. And would there be enough time for them to get acclimated? And with so much parity and so much congestion in one through 10, that could cost them. Because remember, if you finish 10th and 9th, you have to win 2 games in order to even clinch to move on to the next to the playoff, to win that playoff round. And if you're the 7th and 8th, all you need to win is just one game, and that's it. And you get to, if you lose the first game and win the second one, that's it. Series over. You get to go play in case 7 or number 8 seed, depending where you land. So keeping the team together and keeping that chemistry and not going acclimated is only going to help. And like I was telling Devon, like I always said, that's why the Knicks haven't hit their peak, or they haven't won more than 3 games. I'm hoping that they go on a stride and they peak and gel, go on a hot streak towards the ending of the season, so they could go into the playoffs like a hot goalie, in hockey, that they carry the momentum and they just excel. Now, with that said, my take that I didn't get to let you know, I think the Knicks are going to flirt with the 4th seed all season long, but they're going to finish 5th. because they just got a little bit too much of that West Coast trip at the end of the season. That they might, that's going to be tough to go on the West Coast and win, the games that they're not supposed to. But hey, this is a weird season. Anything can happen. A lot of the stars are injured. LeBron has been hurt. You can see, the list is long. Embiid and Giannis had knee issues. Anything can happen. Kyrie is always injured. And Durant hasn't come back, so it's wide open. Really, the NBA title is really wide open. And I think whoever plays as a consistent team and buy into their coaching, and then they're coaching the right coaches that put the right adjustments. Yes, talent wins. Obviously, talent and always wins. But if you have the right scheme and the right group, I think you could go a long way and you could surprise it. You could get on a run. And hey, salute to Kibit for checking in. I know you always are here with us, and I salute. Welcome, my brother. And we're here with Divine, with our special guest Dan A. and BX Jedi. And what you think, Divine? I'll let you get in here, brother.
Man, you know what? I like I said, I think we are who we are. I think at the beginning of the season, check the video tape down me on MBK. You can always check my research. I knew the Knicks were going to be a 500 team all year long. I was like, man, Tom Thibodeau is going to change the trajectory of this team. I mean, it's just facts. It's nothing, you can say about that. His record speaks for itself. Who he is, he's part of that Knicks culture. Jeff Van Gundy, Pat Riley. He's from that tree. And that's why when we played the Miami Heat the other day, we were like we were playing our twin brother. Because that's where that's what they do. They play defense, intensity. You ain't scoring on me. This is bully ball. That's how we gonna roll. And I put me some 3-point shooters around, but we gonna go hard at you though. And when you look at that game the other night against Miami was intense, bro. And that second half, we were giving it to them in the first half. You notice in that second half, they changed that whole game. They're like, all right, you know what? Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's turn the fire up a little bit because these cats is kind of giving it to us and we ain't playing our game. And Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, them guys turned that heat up because that's how they play. That's what I was saying earlier, that the Knicks, the last couple of games, I didn't see that intensity. Like normally, Knicks go at it. So it happens. It happens. It's association. You sometimes you win some, you lose some, peaks and valleys. You ain't gonna win every game, but I do know that Thibodeau changed the culture of this place, man. Like I said, I've been watching Nick Babel for a long time, and I ain't seen nothing like this in the last 8 years, literally. Where you got somebody who holding cats accountable. You see him and Julius Randle in the huddle yesterday. Last night. He was like,
yeah.
Nah. So normally the other cats don't do that. Thibodeau like, nah, yo, what's up? Slacking on the play, whatever. I don't know what the case may be, but he'll call you out if you ain't doing right. And that's accountability, and that's what we need in New York. And I think that's what he's about. And having Todd Gibson and Derrick Rose there, man, who've been there, done that, been in the battles. So I think we on to something, man. I'm an optimistic fan, man, and this is the most fun I had in the silent time of me watching Nick back on a long time. Since Coach Woody flew to Coach Woody from going to Indiana. I hope you do well out there, my brother. Yeah. But since his last time in New York, he's the last coach that really had us playing. Like Jeff Hornacek tried, but on the field that wasn't gonna pop off. The way he wanted to. But you know what? I'm excited about it. I think we're gonna be fine, man. And I think the roster spot. Let me ask y'all a question: is my man still with us in the G League? What's that? Labrisi?
Labissiere.
Yeah, Labissiere. Yeah, is he still there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's still. I think he's still. Well, I know the G League season is over.
Okay, that's right.
I don't know if he's still signed with the team, but he's. I don't know if he's the big you want to bring up from the G League.
Okay.
Because the I was watching the G League this year, and the guy that I really was interested in was the guy Sidney Chateau.
Yeah, he's nice.
If you check him out, like he's got a nice offensive game, but he plays rim protector very well. He knows where to be, and he knows how to communicate very well. So that's a guy who I was interested in. But I got a question for you guys. It's like, let's say we do hover around the 5 to 6 seed, right? And we, all right. First question, let's say we are the 5 seed. Who would you want as that 4 seed?
Who would I want? I would probably want Boston.
I don't think Boston's going to make the fourth seed. I think it'll be the Hornets. I think and by the way, a quick update score: they lost their game to the Brooklyn Nets. They lost by 20. So right now, we gain half a game on the Hornets. Just scoreboard watching, and right now the Hawks are up 66-55 on the San Antonio Spurs as we speak. That just started the third quarter, so that there's still a lot of game to be left there with that. I think they're gonna. I would like to see the Charlotte Hornets play the Knicks in the 4-5 game. I think that'll be really interesting. That'll be good. I hope that's there, and I think they'll match up good there. And just think if we win that first round, how much more perspective we change going to the second round with the winner of whoever's in the second seed, because it's so flip flop. It could be Philadelphia or Brooklyn. In my perfect world, I would like to play Brooklyn in the second round.
Me too.
I want that. So
Me too. I just want that for the. I know I want that for the city of New York.
Even if we get spanked.
I want that for the city of New York.
Even if we get spanked, I want to get in there.
Play Brooklyn in the second. I mean to cut you off. The Knicks play Brooklyn in the second round. We won the season. Even if Brooklyn goes to the finals, the talk of the town will be New York playing the Brooklyn Nets in the second round. And no matter what Brooklyn do, the Knicks won the season to me. You know what I mean? The only reason I say Boston, I don't want to see Miami in the first round. I just think that they play the way they play.
I told you. I said Miami. I said Miami is going to be. It's going to be either 7 or 6.
They like we playing ourselves, man. I would love to play them for the fact of, but man, that defense, man. No, Jimmy Butler, they can turn it up, man.
Look, Divide. See, that's why I asked the question. see, BX, you chose an answer that annoys me. I'm gonna tell you why it annoys me. Like I said earlier, when I watched the Charlotte Hornets, a lot of the young players that's helping them out that they've drafted, they didn't draft too far from the Knicks. Yet those guys are really producing. So that's what irks me about the Hornets. Divine, you chose Boston because that could be an easy one for us. They're not playing well. That could be an easy one.
Right. I just want exactly right, bro. You're exactly right.
I'm a little hard-headed. Me personally, I would want the Miami Heat. I'd want us to get through that series, because if we beat them and then face Brooklyn, then we officially, truly won the season. We beat the Eastern Conference defending champs to go on to face the prohibited favorites. Oh, New York is on top of the world.
Well, you know what? And from a battle perspective, I would love to see that. But man, them dudes, it seems like we're looking at our twin brother, man. I'm like, it's like RJ looking at Jimmy Butler, Randall looking at Bam on the ball, like we twins,
But they was born 1 minute before.
Right. I don't think Miami's gonna have enough time to gel with all those parts and pieces. I think that's why they're gonna lose a few games here and there. We're gonna be they just finished going through a 6-game losing streak. I don't know. I don't. In Boston, I don't believe in them either. They don't have a center. They don't have their interior defense is very porous. They're having issues with the coach. The coach is not being rumored to become the University of North Carolina's head coach. He's in the running of it. So there's a distraction. He was also a finalist for the Indiana job that Woodson's got. So there's a lot of where's there's smoke, there's fire of Brad Stevens exiting, and the team isn't playing well. They're 8th and holding on to that 8th spot. So there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of uncomfortableness in Boston. They're way below their expectation. They expect them to be an upper echelon Eastern Conference team, and they're not. And they're not playing well. Something. It's not clicking there. Something in the locker room. I think Brad Stevens might be losing his locker room. My opinion. So watch out for Boston sliding there and not moving forward. And I like I said, I think it's going to be Hornets 4th, Knicks 5th, Hawks 6th. They might flip flop with Miami 6th to 7th. That's the way. That's just me. I have no facts. I'm just going by what guts. Gut and what my instinct is, and just putting it out there. I think that, in my opinion, and that series with the Charlotte Hornets is gonna be a good series because They don't they're it's going to be a really good series. Like you said, their lottery. They were players away from us. That's why I picked that one. I want the Knicks organization to see. You know what? In the past, that's why scouting and knowing your players is really important, man. Um, and I always said this, and I've been saying this for the past 10 years. James Dolan spends a lot of money, and he's willing to spend money. And no matter how much you critique them, but one thing I say, I wish he'll spend a lot of money on getting these scouts. Go to these NBA teams that know how to scout. Pay those guys a lot of money to come and scout for your team and find these players, these diamonds in the rough. Stop listening to Fran Fraschilla with the European players. They're not panning out. Frederick Weiss is not going to pan out. He's not, never has. Listening to that. Frank Ntilikina, I'm sorry. And they picked another one that never came to play. The European players, it's rare. Luka Doncic is one of them. Dirk Nowitzki, yes, they granted those are good players. Tony Kukoc, we could go on and on. But right now, let's get the kids from our. One thing that haunts me is the Ron Artest move. The kid is from the Queens. Why didn't we draft him? He's from here. Let's do this. Don't bring him after his prime. Don't bring him like Marbury was good, but they bought him. He already established himself and did great stuff for other teams. Let's bring these kids. That's why I'm really big on and Divine will tell you, and you hear us. I'm really big on Obi Toppin. I am a big Obi Toppin fan. The kid is from Brooklyn. I want him to succeed, but I also agreed to let him take a step back and let the game slow down a little bit. But I'm thinking the game is starting to slow down a little bit on the floor. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to see a lot of progression, a lot of good stuff. Granted, it's not the instant gratification that we want to see with all the players, because especially when you see Halibut go out and play so good, and you see other players that are just a draft away or a position away or after the Knicks pick selected, excelling and we missed it. No, let's. I think we have good developers in the system right now, from Kenny Payne and all the other coaches, and they will help develop this young man. Bring him in here. That's why we were on board of bringing DeMarcus Cousins in here, just because he has that on-court attitude, and that attitude will rub off. He's too nice. He needs to play with a little attitude on the floor. Not that he's being a bad person or off the court. I'm talking about on that floor, that bulldog mentality on the floor. That's what we want. We would like to see that same mentality that Kenyon Martin had. You and Dobie's just too nice, but he has skills. And I want him to do so good, and the game is going to slow down for him. The same way it slowed down for Quickly. It's going to happen. Right? What do you think, Divine?
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Dan. Do y'all think that the reason why Tom Thibodeau don't stick with Obi Toppin? Because I love Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin I think he's going to be good. I really do. I think that boy athleticism, and I think people underestimate, though he might not have got his power game where he wanted to be right now. I mean, you playing against grown men. This ain't dating. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it from that standpoint. But man, when I see the guy when he makes certain shots, I see he got a nice handle to his game. He got a nice finger roll here and there. I think once he catch up, and the reason why I asked you guys this question, I think they think Obi Toppin going to snap sooner or later. What I mean by snap, he gonna get it. You know what I mean? So the reason why I think the Knicks might make the move, they like, you know what? We know this young man is going to break out of it sooner or later. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm wondering why they didn't go, because if Obi Toppin started giving him 10 points a game, 12 points a game or something like that, the Knicks is in a good spot. You know what I mean? They're in a good spot. If you can give Randall 30 minutes and Obi Toppin get another 10, 12, get you some scoring. And so let me ask you guys a question. Do y'all think the Obi Toppin before the end of the season can catch a groove? All right,
I'll let you go, Dan. You're our guest.
What type of what a groove you mean, like where he starts scoring more points?
Yeah, just pretty much getting a little bit, maybe giving you 6 to 8 points, 8 to 10 points.
Okay, like that's why when you guys said the end of the season is going to be a tough stretch, I don't think it's going to be so much a tough stretch, because you got to see when teams clinch. By the time teams clinch and that the playoffs is going to be right around, that's around the times they start playing, the G League guys and the bench players more. So that's the time I think Obi is going to pop off, around that time where they, sit down the starters and rest them for the playoffs, and that's when they want to play them. But I don't give up on Obi at all. I see, like, when I after he got drafted, because I wasn't the biggest fan, I said, let me go watch a game of Dayton, and I watched a couple of games, and if you get that on the second unit, if you just get a little bit of that, where it's dump it off to him, let him work. If he doesn't work and the double team comes, it's essentially a copycat of what Randall's doing right now.
Right,
it's just that last year Randall wasn't willing to pass. You see this kid, he's already willing to pass. So it's all about getting the buckets up. Once he gets the buckets up, I think the game is just going to flow so much better. That's what people, like, they seem to think is like, oh, he just can't get a bucket right now. He just can't get a bucket right now. It's because he's coming from playing Division I. Not like any of these major, these major college leagues. He's playing Division I, and then he's going straight into the professionals. Not even a summer league, straight into the professional league.
Right.
Give him some time. Let him. Right. Yeah, exactly. Give him some time. Let him build. At least let him get a go-to move. That's what all the the greats say. Develop a go-to move, then develop a counter, then develop the counter to the counter. That's all it is. It's baby steps. And right now, whenever I see him, like, he has a nice little turnaround that, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not giving up on the 3-point shot either, because he doesn't have to be shooting like 5 or 6 of them. Most people around his position, you want him shooting like 2, 3, and if he makes 1 a game, then you're good with 30%. Like, it's fine for me. It's fine. He's developing right along the way he's supposed to. I'm fine with him looking this lost, because he's gonna break out of it. And if you notice, especially last game, he had a nice little a string of moves where if he didn't have it, he's noticing who's around him, then he kicked it out to RJ. RJ got the 3. Then he's all that thing, like all that stuff. Like, he's developing right along the way he's supposed to. It's just that once he gets that strength, get out the way.
Yep, absolutely. Salute to the chat, man. Sin Nick, Dangerous, Brooklyn Belly. All you gotta see, you guys, Kibbit, everybody, man. Salute to the chat. We in here, man, talking Knicks Divine, BX Jedi 76. We got Dan A in the building with us tonight, man. We here, man. We just talking Knicks. On the night off. Getting ready for the game tomorrow against Dallas at the world most famous arena at 7:30. Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks. To me, I feel like a must-win game. I don't really say that because I want to stay over 500. You know me. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, man. Y'all go tomorrow, man. We got the morning show on tomorrow. Y'all know what time it is. The morning show is 7:30 in the morning, man. So y'all rise and shine, get on your grind with the morning show. Y'all check us out, man. We just try to give y'all some content before the day's game start to get your juices flowing, so you can get home for school, work, play, whatever the case may be. Get home that night, get in front of that arena. Let's watch the Knicks battle the Mavericks tomorrow night, man. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about all of it, man. And Dan, we appreciate you coming on, my brother. You always welcome. The door's open. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely coming back.
Yeah, man. BX, you know how we do. Yeah, I'm still as optimistic about our team, man. I still love the way we compete and fight and battling and all that good stuff, man. We just got to keep battling. Just keep battling. Bring that New York City gritty committee type of basketball to the forefront every night, and let the chip fall where they may. And if we do that with our defense, I know we're gonna be in a lot of games. You know what I mean? And I hope that's the case. I'm looking forward to the season. This is gonna be this right now. Like I was telling BX last month, it was Knicks March Madness. Now I don't know what April Fool's gonna bring, but ain't no fools up here. Ain't no fool. We gonna get it. You know what I mean? For real. I'm the real talk that we Knicks. This gonna be a crazy April. You know what I mean? But just like the flowers out there starting to blossom and all that, that's what the Knicks gonna do. I believe our team gonna be in the hunt. I think they're gonna be in there, and I think when we get in there, let the chips fall where they may. We gonna do it like we did it in the 90s, man. We just gonna go in there, strap on our hard hats, put our boots on, get our lunch pails, and let's go to war. You know what I mean? And that's just the mentality. That's that riding the subway, getting in the taxi cab. That's that mentality. The grittiness. And that's New York basketball, and that's what the Knicks are doing. And so salute to Tom Thibodeau, because he's sticking true to the roots. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, that's why he was upset last night. Yo, what's up? But y'all intensity at? You know what I mean? We ain't used to this. So And I'm excited about it, man. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it, man. And we just got to keep grinding, man. Keep grinding it out. And we gonna get ready to get out of here because we do got the morning show in the morning. We could do this all night. You know, y'all know how we do. Knicks Real Talk, man. We in here, man. So let me get some last words. Let's start with the brother who came on, Dan A. We appreciate your content, your intellect, your dialogue. Salute, my brother. Give me some last word before we get out of here tonight.
Last words I gotta say is, Knicks fans, let's be patient. We already know what we got. Um, I'd say the last couple of years it ain't been that good for us Knicks fans so far. But you know what they say about New York in the summertime? It get hot and crazy, and the
Right,
Knicks are here for the summertime, so we're
right,
gonna get hot and crazy.
right.
That's
Right,
it.
that's right.
Yes, indeed. BX.
Well, I want to thank everyone in the chat that came on and participated, and those are listening. First of all, I want to personally thank Alex. If you guys are in the Central Florida and Orlando area, over by the East Orlando, Curry Ford and Chickasaw, go see my barber Alex, man, and he'll hook you up with the cut. He always get me looking fresh and keeping me sharp. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everyone who came on. Dan, I appreciate you coming on, man, and bringing that intelligent talk with us and good dialect. You always like my co-host say, you always welcome here, and we always love to have input. And thank you for your time here. And we know we're gonna have more conversations. And we're looking forward for tomorrow. And please hit that like and subscribe. Follow us on the Facebook page. Knicks Real Talk group and page. We got content, anything up and coming with the team. Anyone injury report or any moves around, not just in the Knicks, around the association, I posted there as well, and we'll let you guys inform yourself. Right now, the Hawks are up by 3 over the Spurs. There's a game that we're watching closely. Miami's up by 10 with 9 minutes to go on Golden State. So let's go Golden State. Let's go Curry. Let's go start hitting those threes. And salute to Sims for checking in. I appreciate you coming in and checking in on the chat. The Podfather, and please go over to MBK and support and hit the likes and subscribe to his channel, because of him we're all here doing our thing, and we follow and we like his content, and he's one of our motivations to do this every night. So yeah, my point is, guys, you have a good night. Have a blessed night, and we'll see you in the morning show. We'll be back at 7:30, and we'll bring you content. And I'm gonna head it over to my main man, Divine. Go ahead, Divine.
Yeah, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. Divine, BX Jedi, 7-6, and man, Dan 8 in the building tonight with us. Man, salute to everybody out there in the chat. Thanks for chiming in. Send Nick. Listen, man, nothing but Knicks, man. What can I say? Sim, my man, thank you for chiming in. My brother, that mean a lot for me, coming from the heart. So, it's real, man. Real talking here, man. We got the Power Father checking in on the chat. But Brooklyn Belly, Dangerous, Sin Nick, Kibbit, Camilio. I know you wasn't in tonight, but we see all y'all, man. Unique, everybody, man.
Get it for real.
How we move. Let's keep it moving, man. We in here tonight, man. David Nova, you know what I mean? So we in here, man. Salute to y'all for coming in. But yeah, man, listen, we got the morning show tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Then I got to get on my grind. I'm been busy like crazy, but I always got to make sure I get a fan of dialogue in the morning. I'm out here in the universe trying to get my grind on as everybody else going to do, man. So real quick, man, listen, COVID-19 out there, man. Y'all know what time it is. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, protect yourself, your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones. Then let's get this COVID thing under wraps, man, so we can get into it, man. But Nick's still in the building. I know we lost last night, but we bouncing back. We're going to go ahead against KP in tomorrow, or the Dallas Mavericks and KP. And we're going to put it all out there. Nick's going to go in there and make it happen, man. We got to do this here, and that's what it is, man. So salute, and I'll see y'all in the morning time, man, because we got to get up and make it happen again. Turn and burn, as we say. Dan A., my brother, I appreciate you coming in tonight. Like
Most
I said,
definitely.
you're always welcome. I throw the link in the chat, and that's what it is, man. So y'all hit that thumbs up, subscribe. But listen, man, y'all know what time it is. If you ain't here, you know where you need to be at. The Power Father got it popping off. He got the streams down there. We got the Queen. We got JD. We got Legion. We got Die Hard. We got everybody, man. If you got a stream out there, man, we support you. You know what I mean? Because it's all for the Knicks. You know what I mean? This is love here. We're going to do it like that. We're going to get up out of here. And you know what I'm about to do, yo? It's time to roll out. I'm going to drop the outro track, man. And salute to y'all, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. The night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. The night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk. Knicks real talk.